Welcome, everybody, back to a different conversation. Look to my left, look to my right, and it's just me. Don't worry, guys, it's not going to go as bad as it did before.
Before COVID, life was life. It was literally.
But we're back. It's just me. I'm Thomas Saxby. This is episode 21 of A Different Conversation. Hope everyone out there is doing well. I know I am. It's been a great start to the year. I hope everyone else has had a great start to the 2025. I know it's crazy with everything going on in the world right now, but I hope I can bring you guys some peace and prosperity. So make sure you like, subscribe, leave some feedback, even share this shit, man, because at some point I'm going to be like ridiculously high off the weeds, and I hope you guys all enjoy this episode as much as I'm going to. So with that being said, let's kick this off. Like I said, 2025 got off to a great start. What's going on with me? So recently I left my second job, which is Target. I can finally, jump out and say that now that I worked at Target. I was bougie. It was great. It was a great time. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I made too many friends, but I think I made a lot of good strides. How do I put this? I think it was a good memory. Like, it wasn't bad for me. I know, how I left or whatever. I had, a bad back in my last week there. But yeah. Speaking of that, I had a really bad back spasm that has really been kicking my ass. But otherwise, I earned a promotion at my first job. It's been great. It's going really good so far. I clean. I'm not going to say what company I work for, but I clean. So, managing and being a salesman now, it's going to be a great challenge, a great journey, a great experience. Last year ended really well. I got to propose to my fiance. Well, re-propose. This was the second proposal that I made with a much better ring, though. Much better ring. Much better moment. It was in front of strangers this time, but honestly, when I proposed to her, during the baby shower that we had a couple years ago, it wasn't, it was cool, but I don't think my speech was good. We were in front of a bunch of people who, honestly, at this point, we don't even really associate with anymore. So I really wanted to create that memory again. I really wanted to make it special. We did it in front of the Rockefeller tree. There was random people like, oh my God. There was people taking pictures and everything. Here's one of the pictures. But, it was a really special moment. This was like the first year of my life that I think I can say I had a great holidays. Because, for, the people that know me, growing up, I wasn't the wealthiest at all. Both my parents were on disability. It was a time growing up. I think it really made me teach myself a lot of things. It made me earn basically everything that I have now is earned by me, which is a great thing to, hold to my chest. But overall, the holidays, man, Thanksgiving was great. My fiance made so much good food, man. She was whipping it up in that kitchen. I was working 2 jobs. I was making all this money. So Christmas was great. The kids' birthdays were good, and, New Year's was a blast. It was just all the way through. And that's the first time in my life I really got to experience, a holidays that I can be grateful for, because, to the years leading up to this, I've always been a struggling, young adult. Well, I wouldn't say struggling, but, I've never known how to spend my money. So it was great. It was great to give my friends, some gifts. It was great to spoil my fiance and also my baby boy. Baby girl, baby boy, both of them, they got a whole bunch of presents. But, baby boy, it's so fascinating that babies really don't care about the presents. We try, us as parents, we absolutely try. But us as parents, it's such a joyful thing. But them as babies, it's hilarious. He cared more about the wrapping paper. He did not have one single expression of any of those gifts. It was just straight up, take the paper, tear it up, keep moving. But like I said, 2025, moving on from that, it's been good, just been relaxing, finally off of this 2-job thing. That anyone out there that's working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, how many ever jobs that you're working, I commend you, because it was an absolute challenge. I was tired. I was sick a lot too. That was another thing. This winter was terrible for me when it came to being sick, but at the same time, it was all worth it. Made a lot of money. That's exactly why I was there at Target, was to collect the check. I had to deal with so many annoying people, annoying policies, annoying upper management, etc. But some of the people that I met were actually really cool, and they made it worthwhile, and made the time go by a little bit faster. I knew I was not there for the long run. I mean, if something happened, it happened, but I knew I'm never going to get to the top of the chain in like retail or glorified sales like Spectrum, stuff like that. Just because I don't kiss ass, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to even apologize sometimes. So, 2025 is going really well. I'm finally, back on salary, and I'm back to give you guys all of this good content. So, we have a studio being built upstairs. We have, me and Cam are really locked in. I know Matt stepped away, but at some point maybe Matt returns. But the most important thing is that me and Cam are locked in. I have a lot of good ideas for wrestling. I have, baseball trading card episode coming out soon that me and Wolfie are going to make, kind of a series where we just open baseball cards, shoot the shit. And then, of course, you guys know, with all the sports that are going on, the Super Bowl, baseball is coming back. The finals, the NBA playoffs are, in a couple months here. So the sports side is going to even get more spicier. And I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of things in motion. It's just all about consistency, right? I mean, I think, I was watching Joe Rogan literally yesterday, and, he was talking about, how he started his podcast, and it was episode after episode. He didn't care who was watching it. He was just going to continue doing this stupid podcast. And honestly, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing this stupid podcast, no matter who's sitting here with me, who's not sitting here with me. I just got to make sure when I do these solo episodes, I keep them entertaining. Because as you guys know, for 45 minutes in that first episode, it was a disaster. But that's why it's a first episode. We have grown. I have grown as a host. There are so many talents that I have acquired just by taking this journey. And I really just can't wait to put them in full focus. So, with that being said, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about 2024, right? I mean, Cat Williams opened the year saying that, like, a lot of things were going to get exposed. And I think they did. Drake versus Kendrick, which was crazy. Drake got blasted. He got blasted out of left field. Diddy, like, that whole thing. Jay-Z, Meek Mill, which bounced off of that. Shohei Ohtani almost got destroyed. People still, talk shit. Even though a good baseball season wipes that all away. Aaron Judge got exposed in the playoffs. Russia, Ozempic, you name it. 2024 was I think when people look back on it, even though not a lot happened in 2024 in comparison to, the few years before, I think it's going to be a monumental year. I know, elephant in the room, Donald Trump, became president. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But, crazy year. Just a whole entirely crazy year. I mean, especially when it came to, I think that Drake-Kendrick Lamar battle was something that's been brewing for so many years now. I think the rap game especially needed that because you have so many, weak rappers. I think the top rappers of today's game don't compare to the top rappers in, prior generations. And I think, when it comes to that battle, Kendrick Lamar wiped Drake off the face of the earth. Like, I know we see Drake appear every now and then, but he's not as big of a character in our culture as he was before that rap battle. And I can say that with confidence. I know some people might disagree with me. I know all of us still have Drake in our playlist. But when it comes to Drake specifically, I don't listen to him the same anymore. I don't know if anyone else is different, but when it comes to Drake, I listen to him a lot less. That whole battle was tough. I think the biggest point of that battle was when Kendrick called him a pedophile, and he didn't decide to defend against that. he decided to defend against the fact that Kendrick said that Drake had a daughter. I think, Drake, from a lot of these stories, and I don't know if it's money that made him this way, but he's a disgusting human being. And, I always thought Drake was a little weird. I always thought Drake was a little fake. I don't really know how to explain that too much, but at the end of the day, I think the battle was legendary. I am so happy that it elevated Kendrick Lamar. I'm glad that Kendrick Lamar is, dropping music again consistently. He's going to be on the Super Bowl. He's not a disappearing act anymore. I think Kendrick kind of just put that whole thing in the dirt and got himself really far with that whole thing. And I think one of the bigger aftermaths too is that, like, I loved J. Cole before, and then after it's kind of like, I get it. It's the respectful thing to step away before, you say things that you don't want to say, things said to you that you don't want to say. But I don't know. I don't know why you even kind of joined the battle just to step away, especially when you were on the wrong side too. And then you jump over, you make a song with Future. You kind of just say, fuck all this shit. But, what can I say? I still love J. Cole. I love his music. I think a lot of Drake's music now, the difference with that is that it's just a little bit faker. It's a little bit like, but you're not the boy, Like, it's tough. But, Kendrick, love that guy. Love the path that he chose to take there with that. When it comes to Diddy, I'll jump right out and say, I've said it many times, I think Diddy is responsible for killing Tupac and killing Biggie. I think that Diddy is a piece of shit, and he's finally getting exposed, right? But it's actually crazy for how long he got away with the Diddy parties and all the sexual assault, beating his wife, ex-wife, whatever the hell they are. But I think it's crazy that it even lasted this long. But that goes to show you how far some of these people with money are protected, and then how easily it can be taken away. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of weird conspiracy shit. Maybe after I smoke a blunt. But when it comes to that, it's just crazy, right? So that really makes me think, like, to you guys, what are the top 5? And let's hold a second. What are the top 5 celebrity scandals in your life that kind of rocked your world? Take a second. I think the first one that rocked my world, the first one, I was so young. I cried. I didn't even understand why I was crying. But when Michael Jackson died, I think, what year did that happen in? Hold on.
19
No, it's not. Yeah, my wife is behind the green screen. But, okay, so it was 2009. I think I was 11. Yeah, I was 11. And Michael Jackson dying was a very sad thing. Like, I just remember, like, the world stopped. Like, Michael Jackson dying is comparable to, I can't, I think you guys know where I was going to go with that. But we'll go the complete other way. But, yeah, I mean, I think, that if I'm remembering correctly, I know, like, my parents' world stopped. Like, my parents were big Michael Jackson fans. They're white asses. But yeah, the first, celebrity death that really rocked my world was the whole Michael Jackson dying, and it even being a scandal. I mean, I think, if I'm remembering it correctly, I think it was in the summer, and Michael Jackson died. I remembered where I was. I was in the living room. I think my dad was listening to some country music, and they interrupted the whole thing to say that Michael Jackson passed away. Immediately went to the news. I know so many people were talking about it. Everyone had their conspiracy theories. Doctor killed him. The whole thing where he made an announcement how he was going to expose the whole music industry and all that stuff before. It was crazy. It was a real crazy time. He was on it. He was practicing for his farewell tour. So many hits. He's the greatest artist of all time in music in my eyes. And it was a wild time. I was 11. I think I cried. It was a rough moment. It absolutely was a rough moment when he died. Especially, like, when celebrities, or I should say not celebrities because I don't give a fuck, but when it comes to artists in general dying before they get to fully execute on their craft, I think is rough. When I think of that, I think of Kobe Bryant. I get it. He had a full basketball career, but he only got to enjoy the fruits of his labor for a few years, and he was prepared to do a lot of good things, especially for the world. So it sucks when an artist goes early. I know, yeah, it's rough. But number 2, I have the whole Kanye Jewish Adidas thing. I thought that was pretty crazy. That's actually kind of recent. I think Kanye losing his mind in general, and I don't even really think it's losing his mind. A couple of things that he's done has been absolutely crazy. This man is so rich that he has parties where there's humans laying on a table and you eat the food off the humans. I think that's disgusting. I think it's crazy. But that whole thing was crazy. He walked away from $1 billion just to get his point across, and then trolled the Jewish people along the way. Kyrie randomly got halted by the Nets because he shared Amazon link to something that was against Jews as well. I think that whole time was absolutely insane. Cancel culture, they had a field day when it came to Kanye. But you can't. He's one person you absolutely cannot take his great music away from, no matter what he does. And that thing was crazy. The third one, I think, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I want to say it rocked my world, but it rocked my fantasy world, because after that, he wasn't going to be Jack Sparrow anymore, and that's a big robbery, not getting the end of Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. And I know you guys are probably sitting there like, well, what the fuck, dude? Like, what? Why does that outweigh the others? But that is how much I care about Pirates of the Caribbean. But the reason why I rocked the world is that finally a man beat a woman in fucking court. Like, he wiped her ass in court. Amber Heard was cooked. Pick her up, call her an Uber, get her the fuck out of here. She was torched in court. And I don't think a lot of people talked about it too much. I am a victim of getting destroyed by a female in court. I know what it's like. Listen, Johnny Depp, and I'm not saying I don't care. Don't call me a sexist, but Johnny Depp represented for the good males, that are out there. But anyway, number 4, I think 21 Savage being British. That absolutely rocked my world. I thought... Sorry, I actually can't believe I'm even saying that. 21 Savage, what a guy, man. He's actually British. I'm just going to leave it there. Number 5 was Chris Benoit. When that whole thing happened, I was on a bus on my way to summer camp. I believe I was 8, and Chris Benoit had died. Everyone was talking about it. They did the tribute on Monday Night Raw, which is their shows before the pay-per-views. And my dumbass, who was fully into wrestling, 8 years old, big Rey Mysterio fan, making Rey Mysterio masks out of beach balls, deflated beach balls. And when it came to Chris Benoit, I told everyone that he killed his family and then himself because he lost the United States Championship. That is probably one of the stupidest young thoughts that I ever have. Rest in peace to his family. Not rest in peace to him, but that rocked a lot of people's world, because you had the whole Eddie Guerrero thing, that happened a year before that, him dying, due to heart issues, and then he just went out and did that whole thing. And honestly, at the end of the day, my world was rocked. And that's my top 5. Why don't you guys leave your top 5 below? And if you guys are liking this bullshit so far, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Buckle up. We still got a lot more to go. So, what am I up to lately besides the bad back and the job? I've been kind of just chilling with my fiance. We've dedicated days to each other where I pamper her. Other days she pampers me. Baby boy is growing up. He's walking, dominating the world. He has like that fat baby stomach. So he looks like a drunk. most of the time with the way he walks and falls over. It's been really enjoyable doing this whole parent thing, as a family with my fiance. I've really not taken it for granted. I'm so happy that I got out of doing two jobs, just so that I can enjoy everything that's going on. Uh, but what can I talk about? What can I talk about that's going on lately? Um, Watching a lot of Jersey Shore. I mean, I don't know why, but I've. What season are we on, Mama? What season are we on at Jersey Shore? So yeah, we're on season 6 of Family Reunion. There was like 6 seasons of the other one, so it's been like 13 seasons. But it's fantastic. I don't know. I think everyone needs a bullshit show to watch. That's my bullshit show at the moment. Besides all the sports and stuff that I watch. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft again lately. I've been playing Sims, for the PS2. I've been playing the new Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor, I think it's called. It's the second game of that one. You know, Playing Sims, playing PS2 games in general is so nostalgic these days. I'm 26. I'm not that old. A lot of people will say I'm old as shit. But when it comes to the PS2 is going to stand the test of time. Them games are amazing. And it was such an experience, growing up, getting that PS2, playing Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 all night long. So many games that came with that. It really introduced me. I mean, I played the Nintendo 64 a little bit because that's where, my time frame was. But I truly don't have any true gaming moments until I got on that PS2. My mom got me that. I had SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie, the game that I was, trying to beat, riding on Hasselhoff's back, that whole thing. But the PS2, if I had to come up with a top 5 PlayStation games ever, I think I would have Star Wars Battlefront 2 on that list. Listen, that game's amazing. I think it's, you can make it so that the battles last however long that you want. I think the story mode was really good. I think the Galactic Conquest was amazing. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and that game really, really touches those parts of your core that like Star Wars. Like, it really soothes the fanaticism, whatever fucking word I'm trying to come up with. You guys know I'm not good with big words. What other... So I have to include sports games in there. So I would choose MVP Baseball 2005. Really great game for all my sports heads out there. Madden 2005, I think, or was it 2004? Whichever one, Michael Vick's on the cover. I think that's a lot of people's favorite games because Madden has been shit for a long time. And because I don't want to leave out too many games. SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I think you could take 2006. You can take 2008, 2009. I think you could put a lot of games in that when it comes to wrestling. But SmackDown versus Raw 2007, the GM mode, fighting in the crowd. Well, no, I don't think that was till 2009. But, GM mode, pay-per-view mode, the Superstar mode was really good. If you want to go watch, Undertaker and Chris Benoit and, Rey Mysterio, Rob Van Dam, all those guys go nuts. I thought it was very creative. And if I had a 5, because I'm not really trying to leave out too much, I mentioned Sims. I really loved Sims. Midnight Club was cool. Burnout was cool. I'm a huge NASCAR game fan, but I don't think it'd be fair to put that in a top 5. And yes, listen, I am a huge NASCAR fan. Don't mind me. I love the, taking a left turn, going in a circle. Oh, man. What would number 5 be? Because I got to make sure I evaluate all my options before I pick that. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a game that lasts the test of time. It's on all of the future consoles. It's on Netflix. It's on your fucking phone. I think Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a game that I will consistently play, moving forward in my life. So that's my top 5. So I think I said Star Wars Battlefront 2, MVP Baseball, Madden 05, 04, whichever the fuck game that Michael Vick was on, SVR 2007, and of course San Andreas. But there was so many good games though. Oh, God of War. I forgot God of War. Oh, Don't Kill Me. Those games were good too. Oh my god. What else am I missing? What else am I missing? Lego Star Wars. All the Yo, by the way, Lego games are addicting as hell. Um, Dang, there was a lot of Bully. Bully was a fantastic game. I'm trying to think of those games that I was playing all night. Oh man, but either way, either which way, that's my top five. I think the PS2 was out during a good time because I think during that time, the early 2000s, the early to mid 2000s was a time that was my prime as a kid. I felt like baseball was fantastic, NASCAR was fantastic. I can't even believe I admitted that. NASCAR was fantastic. Life was fantastic. I was young. I had no responsibilities. I think, the air smelled different. Just so much other shit, man. Like, I felt like the food tasted better. They had cereal straws back then, man. Like, cereal straws was fantastic. My mom would, like, check on me to make sure I'm okay. Maybe I have mommy issues. Maybe this is the episode of the podcast where I realize that I may or may not have mommy issues. If you ask my fiance, I think she thinks that I have mommy issues. Maybe that's something that we could discuss down the road. Babe, do you think I have mommy issues? She says yes, but maybe that's just something I can go to a therapist for, whatever the case may be. But the old days were great, man, and especially on that point where the air smelled different. Like, I feel like there's a lot of days, like, when I woke up back in the day, the air felt great. It was like, maybe that's what bills and responsibility came with. It took that away. Going outside wasn't a terrible thing back in the day. You could ride your bike without worry. I don't know. Maybe there was a lot of worry. I think social media just changed the world. But either way, moving on to the elephant in the room that I said we would talk about now is Donald Trump. I'm sure none of you care about my opinion on Donald Trump, so I'm not going to get too heavily involved in it. But he is the president, and he will be the president for the next 4 years. I don't want to sit here and say that I am fully on the Trump train. I don't even want to say I'm on the Trump train at all. I'm more on the train of I think this Democratic Party thing is bullshit and it should stop. And the main reason why I say that is because, like, think about how we went. We went from George Bush to Barack Obama to Donald Trump to Joe Biden to Donald Trump. That is a severe back and forth. And I think it's left the country in a pretty shitty spot. Considering, like, when we changed hands of the presidents during COVID, when it went from, Trump to Biden, and I'll just say this, I didn't like Biden at all. I'm not saying I didn't like Kamala Harris, but I think Kamala Harris was screwed by the Democratic Party. They didn't really give her a chance. If their whole thing was that they wanted Joe Biden to get out of office, they probably should have done that earlier, forced him out earlier. I honestly thought they were going to kill him. I thought, like, a few months before the election, it was going to come out that Joe Biden died, Kamala Harris has taken over, and, she gets a lot of sympathy votes and yada, yada, yada. But Donald Trump won. He won amongst a lot of controversy. He's doing a lot of things as we speak in office right now. And I don't know. I'm just waiting and seeing. If I didn't vote because, again, it's like these are some shitty votes that we're getting. Like, I think the whole thing is just insane. I think it's almost satire, it feels like. And I feel like it shouldn't be that way when it comes to our government, our higher-ups. I think that Donald Trump's take on abortions is whack. I like his take on guns. And that's where I fall directly in the middle when it comes to all these issues, because I feel like us Americans should have guns. I understand, school shootings and stuff, but I'm still on the side where I think Americans should have the right to bear arms. But obviously bear arms the right way, because I don't know what sick human being can just get up and go and shoot up a school. But, touchy subject. What else do I agree, disagree with Donald Trump? Ain't gonna get canceled for some of my opinions here. Ain't going down that path. Maybe one day I'll get brave enough to go down that path. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say when I say that. But, overall, I like, don't want to say I like him though. Because I think he's a jackass when he opens his mouth, but I think some of his actions are cool. Oh, I don't like that he took away the whole equal employment opportunity thing. I do agree that we should have professionals in positions. I think it's led to a lot of downfalls to a lot of businesses, but at the same time, I think I think that's, at least as a white person, I think that's what we owe to the world. And I don't want to sound stupid, but I think we owe that to the world to give people that are not of our color an equal or better chance at getting what we've gotten to enjoy all these years just because of the skin color that we were born with. That's what I don't agree with. I agree on the whole illegal immigrant thing. I think it's scary having people from other country able to invade our country and just live here and get away with that. What else? What else? Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I think I'm waiting and seeing. I think he's a strong leader. I think with the stuff that's going on in the world with Israel and Russia and Ukraine, I think it's good that we will have a strong, aggressive leader in place because I don't think anyone really wants to mess with our military, and he's going to remind people of that. I think he's taking a good step at ending the Ukraine-Russian war. I think that Project 2025 thing was a lot of bullshit that you guys were spewing and buying, because he can't even get away with half of that stuff. I think he's changing health organizations, which I think was major. And I get it. Other countries, they get free health care, but it's like a free shitty health care. A lot of countries don't even get health care at all. But I like that we're going to change ours because it's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. But like I said, we'll see. We'll fucking see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of people upset. There's a lot of people that have come out to be assholes about it. I think it's one of the most interesting things to happen, and I think Donald Trump in general is one of the most interesting human beings of all time if you consider his whole career on planet Earth as a human being. But moving on, I think that is the perfect time to have a smoke break. So that is what I will do right now. I will go get a lighter. Be right back. All right. This is a smoke break sponsored by Johnson's Bedtime Lotion. This lotion is actually really good. I mean, we put it on my son's skin, and because he has, bad eczema, I put this on my lady's body. Sometimes she puts it on my body if I'm lucky.
Why didn't you just advertise anything?
Okay, I gotta advertise something else. Games. We're gonna sponsor.
What about the cones that you're about to
Oh yeah, the cones that I'm about to smoke because I'm not even smoking a fucking game. Yo, she's right. This is the nice blunt. These cones right here, Blazy Susan. Oh, look at that! This is a play on the word Lazy Susan. 98 millimeter cones. 98 millimeter. No, I'm just kidding. Premium cones, slow burning, ultra thin, and these have actually been great. I'm not gonna lie. The high that you get in comparison to the games is honestly much better, much healthier. It's a healthier way to go. When you smoke too much games, you are technically smoking tobacco. It's not really good for you. But these right here, let me tell you, they are a life changer. They have changed life for real. This 50 pack cost me like $30, which sounds like too much money to be spent. Oh, look at my chest hair. But let's get to the smoke break. Let's light up. Maybe you guys light up with me. This is great. I think what I'll do is I'm going to scroll through some news while I'm smoking this blunt right here. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's scroll through some news here. What's a good news site? Wait, let's go to TMZ. Let's go to TMZ. All right. So right on the front of TMZ, Lizzo says that I hit my weight goal. I hit my weight goal and it feels good as hell. Okay. All right, so okay, sorry. I'm already a little bit high. Lizzo hit her weight goal. I guess that's cool, right? Doing great things in her life. I need to lose a little bit of weight. I was thinking my fucking mic just fell off. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. So I'm on TMZ's page. Lizzo lost weight. Merry Christmas to her. I mean, no offense. I feel like, no one's goal in this life should be to be as big as she was. No, I'm not trying to fat shame, but man, I like this era of human beings, including everyone. I feel like, all races, all religions deserve it. All, gays deserve it. And I'm not saying fat people don't deserve it, but we should love everybody, in their skin. But I also think, how the fuck do I say this without being canceled? I don't think we should be flaunting people for their weight when their weight is what her weight was. That's all I got to say about that. I don't think that is something that people should strive to be. I don't think that it's healthy. It's absolutely unhealthy. But let's keep scrolling here. OnlyFans star Sophie Rain says that TikTok creators are saving the app, not Trump. Yeah, whatever you want to say about that. I mean, I'm just glad TikTok's staying. I think TikTok is cool. Is it a little brainwashing? I guess if you let it brainwash you, but the China government has our data, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck. The government already owns our Social Security, which is tied to literally everything advanced that you get in this life. So I don't know why anyone's worried about, China having our information. It doesn't make is China going to come down and intercept me from, cashing out my paycheck? More power fucking to them. Whatever. I mean, at that point, well, what the hell can I do? But I'm glad TikTok's staying, at least for right now. I think TikTok's awesome. It's a great way for the world to connect. All the stuff that goes viral, all the random stuff that ends up in your For You page. But, let's see what else is here. A$AP Rocky was getting sued. Let's see. Jury to have Eddie Blackburson. Okay. But what is... What is he getting sued for? Oh, an assault case and a defamation lawsuit. Who did he... Firing a gun at a former friend in 2021. was released on bond. So he's on trial for it. Okay. That's actually pretty crazy. I didn't know any of that was going on. Okay, whatever, ASAP Rocky, if that's what Rihanna's into. I find it absolutely crazy that Rihanna ended up, out of all people, with ASAP Rocky. I'm not saying, like, he's a good or a bad guy. He was at Rolling Loud, and I thought he was pretty terrible. I don't think he's good at live music, I guess, but Rihanna's like, she's like, I thought she was a different tier human being. Great music, great everything. Everything about her is great, but, more power to him. Alicia Keys is just looking hot on her 44th birthday. Alicia Keys. New York. I think Alicia Keys is definitely a hot cougar. 8 out of 10. Great voice. Great spirit. Elon Musk said something surprising today. Don't think about past wrongs. Germans, leave the guilt behind. One of the biggest questions that I actually had in this life of mine is I wonder how Germans teach World War I and II. If anyone's out there, this is one of my biggest questions ever. I want to know, what do Germans do when they get to World War I and II in the history books? Gotta know, because my biggest thing is, what did they do? Did it, you get to World War I and they say, oh, and time to go to World War I, we lost. And then you just move on. And then, oh, World War II, we lost even worse. And they keep moving on. What is there to even teach in German history? It's one of the most fascinating questions. Do they, like, teach it and, like, everyone just gets sad? Like, is that box of tissue day in school? Or do they watch it or do they read it? Do they watch documentaries? Is that something you bring the big TV into the classroom for? What has gone on in Germany besides World War I and II? Actually, something that I think I'm going to look up eventually. Bad Baby got a new nose. I guess that's important headlines. 7 out of 10. I think at one point she was really, really fire. She said that she suffers from those kid camps. I think that her and her mom just got a bag. I don't think any of that is true. But at the end of the day, her getting a new nose, maybe that's going to give her a new outlook on life. I don't know. She's rich. I think she gets with a lot of abusive men. Maybe she can start sniffing out the bullshit. I don't know. But more power to her for getting a new nose. I'm not against facial surgery. Facial surgery does some people really, really well. Half the cast on Jersey Shore has facial surgery and it sucks, but don't let that be, a big example. Man's penis gets stuck to icy sidewalk during boozy fight. Why was his penis out? Can I watch this? I mean, I don't want to see his penis. Do not get me wrong. Pause. But apparently his penis got stuck to the ice. Is there a video for this shit? How did they get it off? It looks like he's getting tackled by a lot of cops. Somehow, at some point in the night, he was naked. Penis gets stuck to the icy sidewalk. He's not having sex for ever. I don't even know what you do with it at that point. Oh my God. All right. Anyway, let's go to a different news site. News site. Suit. News site. 68% of Americans say that they see too much bias in the reporting of news that is supposed to be objective. I think I would agree with that. I think Google's gotten terrible over the years. I think there is a lot of bias. I think, for example, and I get a lot of people, are, mainly mostly right when they have an opinion, a bad opinion about Trump, but, the media feeds onto that to keep us divided. I think that, whenever, some disgusting white person does something, I think the media throws it out there to keep whites and blacks from being, united. I think that they totally inflate because, listen, I think gay people are mostly cool. I have no issues. Some of my best friends are gay. But the media likes to exploit that in a way that continues to separate. And yeah, I mean, maybe it's humanity that keeps us separated, but I think the media draws on that and continues to keep us divided. I mean, if you want to say it's controversial, I mean, I think, listen, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, I think, and this is not me making an attempt to purposely fucking cancel myself, but when it comes to that, I think the media exploits it a lot to keep, for example, white and black people divided. For example, like a lot of unlawful, terrible killings have happened where a white officer kills a black person. Not all of them get the media explosion that 8, 9, 10 of them did. I think it is absolutely a media tool to keep us separated. And I don't know, maybe I just said something crazy. Maybe I said something and, fuck you, white guy. But, who am I? Who am I? But, smoke break's almost over. What else can we talk about while we're smoking here? Oh, so I got some questions from you. I reached out to a couple people so I could answer some of the top questions that maybe you guys had. The first one, which was a real interesting one, was make a starting 5 of superheroes. So starting 5 basketball, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. So if we had to start out with a point guard, because you think about all the characters that could be a point guard in Marvel or even DC. Because the question did state superheroes, but I think I'll keep it at Marvel superheroes, top 5. Point guard, I think I'm going to start with Nightcrawler, and hear me out. Listen. So Nightcrawler, he does this thing where he can teleport, he leaves Mist behind. Imagine like all the positions that he could defend just doing that alone, how quick he would be. Passing the ball would be insane. And then shooting guard, you have to have someone accurate. Now, while the basic answer could be Hawkeye, I think for shooting guard, I'm going to go Captain America. I think Captain America, he's smart. He's not going to take a dumb shot. I think he's a good leader. You would want your leader out of your point guard, but I think Nightcrawler, he'll just get what you need done out of the point guard, and then that talent that he can do is just insane. But Captain America is just, I think he would be the leader of the team. He would shoot all the right shots. Nice accurate shot. I think he would average more assists than Nightcrawler. Triple doubles up the ass. Small forward. See, this is where it gets interesting. I want someone strong at small forward. I want a top superhero from Marvel. Who would be my small forward? And this was Bat that asked the question, by the way. This was an absolute good question here. So I got Nightcrawler. I got Captain America at small forward. I have an interesting take on what my power forward would be. But if I had to have a small forward, I think we're going to have to absolutely go with... Because you want a guy that does it all, right? You want a guy that can dish it, make the smart pass, make the smart shot. But I'm drawing blanks. Hey, yo. But Marvel, I got to think of of some Marvel characters now. Jeez. This is harder than I thought. You know what? Small forward, and maybe I'm just going with a smart lineup. I think I'm going with Mr. Fantastic, Dr. Fantastic. I think, pause, but the stretchiness that he can do, I think, being able to defend all positions that way. I think he could shoot a phenomenal three, but inside the paint, he would just, I think absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have nothing against that, but at my power forward, I'm going Wolverine. I think Wolverine, he's strong, he's fierce. I think he's shorter than what a normal center would be, but I think absolutely he would be able to guard the center perfectly. And at center, I want someone freaky. I want someone tall, freaky, nasty. I think I'm going to go with Venom. I think Venom, he's savage. Hulk is the easy choice there, but I'm going to go with Hulk. I'm going to go with Venom at center. So, Nightcrawler, Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, Wolverine, and Venom. That's an all-white lineup. Huh. I don't know. I don't think I can go with an all-white lineup. Hold on. I think we got to put Black Panther. Black Panther as the sixth man. There we go. Good question. What else do we got? Even though the Jets already named a head coach, who should be the next Jets head coach? Rex Ryan, Helen Keller, Jimmy Carter, rest in peace, or it doesn't matter because it's the Jets. Jets, Jets. They hired a good defensive coach. I don't think it matters because it's the Jets. I think the Jets are always going to be cursed. I mean, you look how it happened. They're the only franchise to make Mark Sanchez look good, who was bad. So you had to already know that some bad juju was going on there. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I'm just going to go with D. It doesn't matter. Helen Keller would have been an interesting head coach. I think Jimmy Carter is just as useful as anybody that you would put in that spot. Rex Ryan, I was rooting for, but I don't think he even got an interview. The last question is Xbox or sex with most recent ex? Play the Xbox or have sex with my most recent ex. Well, my fiance is sitting behind me, most likely with a shotgun to this question. The Xbox ain't too bad. I know on PlayStation, but I think when it comes to the Xbox, they got some good games. Forza, Halo. There was this cool game with the little army men that I actually don't even remember the name to. But I'll go with the Xbox to save my life. To save my life, Xbox. My last X was trash too. So yeah, I mean, I think when you compare the trash levels, I think Xbox comes out with just a nose ahead. So yeah, we'll go with the Xbox. Okay, what are we moving on here to? So I have these Popeyes biscuits, and I'm going to eat them without water. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to scroll through this Facebook page, which, listen, y'all, this page is actually hilarious. So 1 second. Let me pull up Facebook here. How many biscuits do you guys think I can eat without water? This is already really dry. It's a real dry experience. All right, 1 second. Oh my God. Wow. Doing this after you smoke too is like actually way worse than I thought it would be. All right. All right, so I'm a part of this group So it's a group where you anonymously ask for brutally honest advice. 48,000 people are in that group. I think it's a good outlet for people, but also it's probably one of the craziest things that I've ever been in. Has anyone fell in love with a foreigner and traveled to another country to get married? I'm in America, and the guy is in Yemen. He's offering to fly me to Egypt for us to get married. I talked with other people around him and got more insight on it all. I would travel to Egypt, get married for 2 weeks, and return to home. Is this something normal? I assume that they've seen each other in the past before, so I don't know. That's a bad one. Would you pay 2,700 monthly rent plus plus the utilities for a 5-bedroom home on the lake? Huge fenced-in yard with multiple fire pits, large garden, sauna, large shed attached to a 2-door garage. Basement has a kitchen, net, 2 usable fireplaces in the house. I don't know why you'd be renting a place like that. I feel like that's something that you would get as your house, but 2,700 plus utilities if you got the money like that sounds peaceful. But I bet you the landlord's a dick. I mean, if I had a house like this, I would be overprotective of it if I had to give it to someone else to rent. Wait. So I've been seeing this lady for a little over a month, and things have been going well very quickly. On her first date, she told me she wanted to get a dog. And yesterday, she texted me to come over because she had just gotten a dog and wanted me to see it. Cool. I love dogs. I get over there, and it's one of those damned long-haired wiener dogs. I can't stand to even be around those things. Like, they are literally make me nauseous and embarrassed to be in the same vicinity. Don't get me wrong, I'm pro wiener dog. How are you pro wiener dog? But only the slick kind. My neighbor down the street has an elderly wiener dog, and I love and pet all the time. This is ridiculous. But it's a slick wiener dog. How do I tell her it's me or the wiener dog? Why does he keep calling it the wiener dog, bro? Because that's just about the situation. I know her mom would take it, because I'm not spending the next 15 years of my life avoiding this thing. Listen, man. One Popeyes biscuit down. Listen, man. I don't think you got to be with her. I mean, if you feel this strongly about the wiener dog, you just gotta let go. I mean, I'm thinking about it now. A thick wiener dog does sound a little scary, but yeah, man, spending 15 years of your life avoiding a wiener dog, I don't think you should do it, bro. All right, 1 second. Y'all, am I crazy? I just want to fuck a pastor. I just feel like they got good dick and they have to be older. I feel like they can take control and freak me good help. What do the comments say? The only thing you need is the Holy Christ. I heard pastors can rise to the occasion. I mean, that's actually wild. That's a wild thought there. Yo, this Popeye biscuit is dry as shit. Okay. Ladies, is it a myth that 9 inches or longer exist? Has anyone encountered it? And how's the experience? Listen, I did not pull out a ruler, but the reason I did not lose my virginity at 16 was because it was the size of my forearm. The fuck? This is stupid. Okay. I need a good one. All right. I have been dating a wonderful woman for many years and finally have proposed to her. Our wedding date is set 2 years from now, and we are planning our future lives together. My fiance is a boss babe and is a hustler. She makes a CEO salary and works 60 hours per week. I grew up below poverty level, and we managed to make it work because we love one another. That's a real interesting scenario. We were looking at potential homes to buy, and she's looking at homes upwards of $1 million, and she's going to put the down payment down exclusively and take the mortgage out in her name. Unfortunately, I don't have the greatest income and therefore cannot contribute towards the house purchase. Also, my credit score is not the greatest, so I would not get approved at the same rate she would. Yo, this guy? This guy must be Prince Charming. Because even I would agree if she just fucked him over. Upon speaking, she says that my name would not go on the deed of the home, but ask if I can contribute for paying rent. I am very upset because I feel as though she is not treating me as an equal. She says that it has nothing to do with equality, but the rent charges of $500 per month will contribute towards payments of the mortgage, as well as taxes and utilities. I am not her tenant. I am her future husband. As my future wife, I find that what she is saying is demeaning and disrespectful. Is there something I am missing? Listen, man, if I'm with a woman that's a millionaire, I would imagine if they're looking at a $1 million house, if the woman is making good money and the man is below poverty line, and I don't even know how this works, I would do whatever the hell she asked me to do. If she wants $500 per month, I will get a job and I will dedicate my life to giving her that $500. If she asks me to be the house bitch and not pay any rent, I am going to become the best mopper you have ever seen. If she told me to put lotion on her feet, I would put lotion on every single crevice of her feet. And that's just the way it is. I don't think it's demeaning or disrespectful. I mean, she's only asking for $500 a month for the mortgage, and if the home's $1 million, you can imagine how much that mortgage actually is. So, I don't know. I would just say don't be a loser. I'm tapping out at 2 Popeyes Biscuits. These things are disgusting. Listen, I love me a good fucking biscuit, but fuck Popeyes Biscuits. Oh my god. Hold on. All right, my bad. Let me stop filling your guys' brain with just bullshit. Okay, so rank your top 5 fast food combos. By the way, I'm gonna give up fast food in February. I promise. I know I'm like a little bit heavier than usual, but that's because I just love food. Life is too short. Listen, people that are out there on a diet, I'm sorry to say this, but fuck you, man. I mean, life is way too short to restrict yourself of God's greatest gift, which was food. Food is necessary. Food is amazing. If I'm like, if I was in prison, I would be like, if I was on death row, I would plot out the best final meal. I like when it comes to food, man. Food makes me happy. Food will get me out of bed. Get going out and getting food with friends, with relatives. Food is just one of the best things ever. But I think fast food is kind of just, it's pushing it a little bit too much, makes you feel a little disgusting. But my favorite combos, though, listen, man, Popeyes, you got to get their tenders and fries combo. I think that's a good combo right there. Even though I just shitted on their biscuits, but if you dip the Popeyes chicken into mac and cheese with a little bit of buffalo sauce, I promise you, it's one of the best things I've ever had. The McChicken, they'll never make me hate you. McChicken with anything, that's the combo. No, the 2 for $4 McChicken, that's it. 2 McChickens, that's the combo. McChicken. Shove a McChicken up my ass. I love fucking McChickens, man. Number 3, fuck Burger King. Burger King sucks. Taco Bell. Oh yeah, if you get a crunch wrap and a quesadilla, you put the Doritos Locos tacos. You get 2 of them with a quesadilla, extra jalapeno sauce. You put the tacos into the quesadilla, eat that shit. I think that is a top combo. Let's see here. We got yeah, I hate Burger King. Yeah, no, Burger King sucks, guys. Like, GG's in the chat. Would you consider Moe's fast food? We're going to keep it as a top 3. That's the top 3 fast food combos right there. It's definitely not these biscuits. I have such a nasty taste in my mouth. But some quick sports, because we didn't come out with an episode in time for these championship games. I think that the Eagles are going to absolutely dog walk the Commanders. Listen, Jaden Daniels is a fantastic quarterback, but I think the Eagles, one, they have been here before. They've been to the Super Bowl before. I think they really want to get to another one. I think the strategy that they are going with right now is absolutely amazing, because you have Jalen Hurts with the short passes, Saquon Barkley running his ass off. I absolutely think the Eagles are going to trounce the Commanders. I don't think the Commanders are going to have an answer for Saquon, especially. And then even if they do, I think A.J. Brown can absolutely have a dominant game finally against the Commanders. Hopefully we don't see him reading any books on the sideline. But I think they're out for some revenge, and I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Bills, Chiefs. I have an interesting theory here. When it comes to the Chiefs, I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I think, the three-peat, I think NFL wants their man, their knight in shining armor, the golden boy, Josh Allen, to ascend. And what's a better way than actually beating Patrick Mahomes and preventing the three-peat? I think the Bills are going to beat the Chiefs. I think it'll be a very close game. I think it'll even probably come down to a flag or a big decision. But I absolutely think it's going to be the Bills and the Eagles, and then we'll see what happens then. I could be absolutely wrong, though. I don't think the Bills have that great of a team. I honestly think that the Chiefs should, in a real world, beat them handily. But, Patrick Mahomes hasn't been Patrick Mahomes. And if he don't wake up soon, I think the Bills are going to beat him. I think the Bills have a shot. Josh Allen has been doing some incredible things. He's just been finding a way game after game. Their defense has been absolutely great. I think they did get bailed out by a floppy Mark Andrews, which, by the way, I don't feel bad one bit for Mark Andrews. I think him dropping the ball twice for Lamar is just sickening. I get it. It's weird. The Ravens, every time they get to the playoffs, they just do nothing but play sloppy football. But at the end of the day, I think, it's not good. I would have traded him if I was the GM. It's absolutely rough. Cavaliers are first. They're still doing amazing, even though they've lost 3 in a row. But hey, I absolutely think the Cavaliers are going to be a problem. I said it before to Kem. I think they're going to be a problem. The Celtics, they're just on cruise mode. I don't think we're really going to see anything too crazy from the Celtics until, after the All-Star break. And other than that, the Pistons being number 6, I think is very good. I think it's crazy that the 76ers are still on 11th. I think they're going to make that play-in, but it has not been a good year for the 76ers. I think, being 17 and 27, losing the last 3 of 7, they need Embiid in there. They need him to stop playing around. They need him in here. I think what's the real situation with the 76ers is that they are not being truthful with the Embiid situation. I think his knee injury is a lot more severe than a lot of people have said. What else do I got? The Bucks are actually in 4th. They've won 5 in a row. I knew after the play-in tournament that they won that would give them enough confidence to start getting the ball rolling. I think they need to make a trade. I don't think this core of the team plus Damian Lillard is just working out anymore. I do think, they're going to make a big trade. I would honestly, what I would do if I was the Bucks is I would trade Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis over to the Suns for Bradley Beal. I think, the salaries almost match up. I think it works for both teams. I think, the Suns, they need a tough guy like Bobby Portis in there to help, toughen up Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And then, Chris Middleton's a cool shooter. So over in the West, Thunder cruising. The Oklahoma City Thunder are scary because they've done everything right so far, and it's going to be hard for them to mess up at this point. They have their superstar MVP level player, Shea. They have their top defenders. They have their all-around players, Jalen Williams and Chet. Chet's injured, and they're still 36-8, and they're going to get him back at some point, I think in a couple weeks, they said. And then you just keep going to all the draft picks that they have moving forward. So at any point in time, the Thunder can trade for whatever they need, or at any point in time, they can just go ahead and draft and keep this young core moving. And if they somehow mess it up, I think it'll be the biggest blunder in sports. But this right now is what I had mentioned, the other day of sports excellence. And I think that's exactly what the Thunder are at this point is sports excellence. The Grizzlies are 31-15. They're in 3rd. Kind of like an I told you so moment with them and the Rockets being 2nd and 3rd. The Nuggets are 4th. It's been this weird, comeback, fueled behind a healthy Russell Westbrook. I mean, Jokic is playing at an MVP level. I don't think he should be denied the MVP. He's averaging a triple-double, some monstrous games again. He makes basketball look easy. He's like one of the only players I've ever seen that has really made it look easy. So them being in 4th is actually, it's pretty cool. I think Russell Westbrook breathes a new life into them. They're another team I think needs, to make a trade, shake it up a little bit. But they could go to the championship on the back of this. You never really know. The Suns are 10th and the Warriors are 11th. Is it actually time to let go of Steph Curry and the Warriors? Is it actually time? Is it actually time to let that go? I mean, man, there was a lot of memories there. There was a lot of dominant sports memories that came from Steph Curry and the Warriors. But letting it go, I still believe that they can do something if they make the right moves. Luka needs to come back for the Mavericks. I think they've been playing decent ball without him. I think they've been getting their depth ready for his comeback. Kyrie already came back. Clay, he's doing almost basically what I thought he would do. Barely, 13 points a game, not shooting the best, shooting a decent 3. I didn't think it was a good acquisition for the Mavericks, but who knows what will happen if Luka comes back, sets him up in his spots. Maybe he's got some juice left. And then the big thing is I'm really hyped for the baseball season. I'm wearing this Nationals jersey. I can't wait for James Wood. I can't wait for Dylan Cruz. I can't wait for, everything that's going to come with the baseball season. I'm ready to go. I know the Dodgers dominated the offseason. There's still a lot of free agents left. But I'm really, really, really hyped for this season, guys. I think last season was one of the best seasons that, we've ever had, as baseball fans. And I think absolutely this season's going to bang even harder. Shohei Ohtani is going to continue to make history. Juan Soto and the Mets, it's going to be something to watch. That whole Dodgers team is going to be, pretty historic. You got young guys peppered around the whole league. I mean, you think about, all the rookies that were there last year and the year before that, and how young, some of our top stars are in this league. I am truly, truly hyped. So I have, moving on, I have just two more segments, and then I'm going to get out of here. I know I probably look and sound ridiculous because how fucking high I am. But what is your most favorite movie ever? And then what's the actual best movie of all time? So if you guys know me, I think the best movie ever comes down to, well, my favorite movie ever, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, I think is a monumental generational movie. I think they, when you look at the two previous movies before that, I think they fixed, the franchise's mistakes with a banger of a movie that just made those movies look even better than they actually are. I think that's my favorite movie. Oh, Cars, Cars is a great movie, man. Cars is an absolute banger of a movie. I think when it comes to Cars, I just remember as a kid on the PS2 playing it like 3 times a day. I was a Cars junkie. I still am. I still put it on. I've showed my son. I've showed my fiance. I've played it in front of my friends. Listen, Cars is probably, honestly, like, if more people opened up to the idea of it, it could be the best movie of all time. But the actual best movie of all time, I think Shawshank Redemption takes the cake. You got Denzel Washington, I fucked that up. Morgan Freeman, who is one hell of an actor, one hell of a guy. Shawshank Redemption is a story about so many different things. And ultimately, it can be a tearjerker if you watch it that way. But it's thrilling. It gives you a feel of the story that was in the book, because the book is an amazing book. But on top of that, it adds its own things. They really sold it. Some really great acting, by the guys that are in there. And then most favorite TV show ever, and then what's the actual best TV show of all time? My favorite TV show, I think, would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender is a monumental cartoon, anime show, whatever you want to call it. It's up there with everything that I've ever watched. I think it's, being that it's a cartoon and that it's for kids, it's also great lessons for adults. It has lessons about basically anything. You can really pull almost about anything from that movie alone, or from that show alone, and I ultimately think it's always going to be my favorite TV show. I have other favorite TV shows, but when it comes to Avatar: The Last Airbender, especially that remake they did on Netflix, which was so, so good. Thank you, Netflix. I think it's my favorite TV show ever. So what's the actual best TV show of all time? Breaking Bad. I mean, there's so many good shows. Sopranos, Walking Dead. I still haven't watched Game of Thrones. I think that's, is what it is. But the best TV show of all time, I think, is Breaking Bad. That was a marvelous, marvelous few seasons of acting. I thought it was great storytelling. I honestly think it was perfect storytelling. It didn't feel fake. Like, it didn't feel fake at all. Obviously running a meth organization, that whole thing could seem fake. But the way his, Walter's family falls apart, the way, like, his entire downfall, the way he gets his own, little last laugh at the end, I think it's a phenomenal show. And it's another banger of a show. How do I conclude a show like this? Well, first off, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone that's been along with this ride. Thank you for, everyone that has watched this far. Thank you for all the support. I hope I entertained and made somebody laugh out there. That's going to be the goal. Maybe I'll do a few more of these in the future. Maybe this was so bad I don't do another solo podcast again. But I think this is worth a try. I think, keeping this stupid podcast going is well worth it. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep coming out with stuff. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave some feedback. I'll always take some feedback as well. I have a whole bunch of baseball cards I got to go organize. Make sure you guys tune into that episode. It was a fun episode that I did with Wolfie. We're going to be coming out with a 999 episode here soon. Wrestling's coming back here shortly. What else do we got? Me and Cam are cooking a lot. We have a lot of sports ideas. We have a lot of ideas in general. So just make sure you guys stay on the train with us. It was a pleasure. Have a good night or day.